All right, people, how you doing? We're here for T&E Magazine. We bring you the best internet magazine on the planet. We got a special guest here for you today, the one and only Doggie Diamonds. How you doing, Doggie Diamonds?
I'm taking it easy. Shout out to everybody that can hear my voice and Brother Joel's voice.
All right. Okay, so people, all right, we're going to get into an interview. Doggie Diamonds, a lot of people like the interview we did on Joelbenjamin528 that was on YouTube. So we're making sure we get you on T&E Magazine. We're going to post up the links so that people could tune in. But we want to get a little exclusive about yourself because your life is very interesting, man. And it seems like you're very thankful for a lot of things that you already went through. So let's just start off by asking, what is Doggie Diamonds thankful for? And after you give us the answer, tell us why you're thankful for it.
I'm thankful for being alive. I'm thankful for having all my five senses, being able to taste, smell, feel, touch, walk, see, hear. I'm thankful for that. Some people don't have all their five senses due to ailments, illnesses, or they were just born like that. So that's one thing to be thankful for. I'm thankful to be alive because some of my friends were murdered in the street before they had facial hair. So I'm thankful to be able to grow gray hair in age. I'm thankful for that. And, I'm thankful for being able to have a voice and using it to provide information for my people.
And how did you start by doing that? Like having that voice? When did you realize, hey, I got a voice, this is what I'm going to do. I'm starting Forbes DVD with my partner. I'm going to start Doggie Diamonds TV. What drove you that said, hey, this is possible. I can make this happen?
Well, I used to walk around my neighborhood with a video camera, and I used to film everything, film crackheads, snowball fights, everything. So that's what started the film aspect of it. But I was a music producer in my neighborhood, grew up I was a DJ first, and I, went into music production. And then it's just all entertainment. So from filming and doing beats and DJing and all of that, I was able to get access to a lot of artists because I grew up with a lot of artists. Or, I'm the type of person that I walk up to somebody in the street and be like, I want to interview you. This before interviewing was cool. And people would be like, interview me about what? And they would be shocked and surprised that I knew so much about them. When I say walk up to people, it wasn't random people like artists I would walk up to. And they would be shocked and surprised that I knew so much about them. So from doing that, I started doing a DVD called a Come Up DVD. And that featured Nicki Minaj. That was her start. So I interviewed Nicki Minaj, and from interviewing her, the DVD game was kind of shifting to digital via, online. So YouTube was coming big, but YouTube wasn't paying. So I had to go from doing DVDs that would be like, I won't say quarterly, might be like monthly or, bi-monthly. So the internet is now, today. You do something today, it comes out tomorrow, So instead of people waiting to hear content or, seeing new interviews from people, they didn't want to wait a month. They wanted it now. So I was like, we had an idea for Forbes DVD, me and my partner, Imrek. It came from the 50 Cent song, I Get Money. He had a Forbes edition with 50 Cent, Jay-Z, and Puffy. It was called a Forbes edition because they was 1, 2, 3 on Forbes. So Forbes, it just meant money, but what we wanted to do it was Forbes didn't mean money. It meant the content that you're going to see on the site is worth money. So whether it be indie artists, whether it be knowledge videos, whether it be lectures, whether it be news, that's the money. It's not really capital as far as paper or coins or credit cards. The money is knowledge. So that's what we did. So we started that. And we did that, still doing that to this day. Forbes DVD is still up and running. And then I started Doggie Diamonds TV because I went on this big, weight loss journey. And, I have an opinion on certain things. So I wanted to be able to showcase my opinion, my thoughts, and my perspective on a lot of things. So that's why Doggie Diamonds TV was started, to really give more of my perspective. And we here today, 2016, rocking and rolling still.
All right, cool. So, yeah, we getting a lot jam-packed real quick for this November issue. You know, just basically is the topic is, you know, Doggie Diamonds. So people want to know, who is really Doggie Diamonds? Like, could you give us a brief background of what your life was like growing up?
My mother died when I was 2 years old. My mother died from complications of lupus. She died when I was 2 years old. So, you know, I always say in my mind that maybe, you know, she was starting to get sick or sickly when she was pregnant with me. You know, thankfully, I don't have any complications of the disease. You know, I don't have any symptoms or anything like that, so I'm very thankful for that also. But she died when I was 2 years old. I have no memory of her, like not one memory. So my life was just always, I grew up without a mother. I lived with my grandmother. My father, I didn't really know where he was at, you know, after my mother died. I knew he would come around every now and again. But I grew up with my grandmother and a bunch of siblings, you know, cousins, and I got two sisters and an older brother. We grew up in Brooklyn. And then, you know, when I turned 6 years old, my father came and he took custody of us. He took us. But then by the time I was about 8 years old, my father was a full-blown crackhead. This is when cocaine hit the black community, and he was a victim of that. So, you know, growing up without a mother, you know, your whole life, you know, you grow up without a mother. People, and the thing was, people always remind you that you don't have a mother. You know, you can't grow, you can't move on, you can't do certain things in life because people always looked at me and felt sorry for me, like, oh, your mother died, you're the baby, you know. So I grew up like that. So it made me kind of, it made me very, very tough and very, very, you know, I won't say rebellious, but I always was a fighter because I didn't want people to feel sorry for me. Then growing up with a parent that suffers from substance abuse, you know, that's when, you know, you start seeing different things and, you know, you don't have any school clothes and there's no food in the house and the lights are getting turned off and, you know, people beating my father up in the street because he owed them money for crack, people running in my house, having to jump out the bathroom window when I was about 10 years old because guys ran in the house to rob the house. I didn't even know I was living in the crack house. You know, my house was the crack house. You know, that's what he turned the house into. So my upbringing was pretty rough, you know, from my childhood standpoint. But I was also a gifted student in school, but it was hard to concentrate on being a gifted student and then, you know, you have this home life. So you better eat in school because when you get home, it might not be no food. So you better take an extra apple if you can. You better do different things. And it was just pretty rough. So that's what kind of shaped me the way I am today. I'm not jaded. I'm not bitter or anything, but I know the rough life. I know what it's like to grow up not having anything. So that's why I'm so appreciative of people showing me any type of love and acknowledgement because I know what it's like to just be in a very, very destitute situation. So that's how I grew up, you know, and then going into my teen years, I got bit by the music bug. And that came along, but then with dealing with the music bug, you still have the street. You know, at one point being a rapper, a DJ, and everything, you was kind of a clown, looked at for a clown, you know, by doing that. Now it's cool, it's cliche. Everybody's a rapper, everybody's a DJ, everybody does this. But when I was doing it, you was a clown. So, you know, me and one of my partners, named in Juicy, we got a studio together at 16. He got killed by 17. He got murdered, shot in the head in Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? And he got killed. So I kind of wanted to quit doing the music thing, but I didn't quit because I wanted to honor him. And I think today, you know, he got killed when we were 17 years old, you know, over 20 years ago. And I just look at today like I think he'd just be real proud of my progression, how I kept going. And there was times where I wanted to quit and I wanted to kill myself. I wanted to do all types of things, you know, just because of the pressure of life and the pressures of, you know, my past and everything. But I'm still here, you know, and it's very, very tough. And I just want to say to anybody out there that can hear my voice, life is very, very tough, but it also could be easy. It's all about your mind state. It's all about who you let influence you, and it's all about who the people that you are around. that are negative in your life. And when I say negative, I don't mean negative because they won't do things for you. It's just that people pushing their fears on you and telling you what you can't do. If you're not around people who's going to encourage you, get away from them. I don't care if it's your mother, your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, whatever it is. Try to be around people that's going to reinforce positivity and greatness in you.
That's what I'm talking about. That's pretty much what I'm talking about. So, we're growing up, like, real quick. Did anybody ever push you to forget? Like, oh, just forget it, man. You don't do what you're doing. Being that you spoke with people being negative, like they tell you, let go of the past, because people say, not always you're supposed to remember where you came from. Like, what was that like?
I mean, to this very day, I had people who could have went with me on this journey, but they chose other paths. And now at first I was upset, but then everybody has their own path. My path, that's why we're all individuals. That's why we don't have the same DNA. That's why we don't have the same fingerprint. We are individuals. We love to come together as a collective and achieve things, but sometimes it doesn't always work like that. But there was plenty of people trying to deter me from doing what I'm doing, say, oh, you shouldn't do this. This is not going to work. I had an ex-girlfriend. I was 18 years old because I'm also a high school dropout, so I don't have a formal education on paper, but that doesn't mean that I'm not educated. But according to society standards, I'm uneducated because I dropped out of high school in 9th grade. But again, on the flip side, I told you I was a gifted student, so I was always ahead reading and math level than the level I was in. When I was in 3rd grade, I was reading on 8th grade reading and math level. So, of course, it was people telling me what I can't be. I had an ex-girl, her mother told me, I don't have a future because I didn't go to school when I was 18, and I was like, and then I thought back, I think I got in my early 30s, and I was like, wow, she really told me I wasn't going to be nothing when I grow up. I'm like, you don't tell a young man that, but like I said, if I had to listen to people, I'd probably be in jail or dead, so just having to fight through the things that I went through to get here today, and not listening to detractors and not listening to people in a negative way, I wouldn't be here today. So it was people trying to tell me to do something else or go to school or you need a city job and all that. Good thing I didn't listen to them. Good thing I didn't listen to them.
Well, all right. People, we want to thank Doggie Diamonds for coming on and speaking briefly about the stuff he went through. Basically, the man is a hard worker. He do what we do. And Doggie Diamonds, T&E Magazine, would love to thank you for coming on. And people out there, if you want to contact the brother, everything is Doggie Diamonds. His Twitter, his Facebook, basically everything you could find him. Like, just Google him, and you will get him on any social media site. Real quick, I want to make sure I let y'all know the issue, never forget, November issue of T&E Magazine. All right? If you want to get more info on Doggie Diamonds and my perspective on this interview, check out my article, okay? Remember, people, that's never forget November issue of T&E Magazine. Doggie Diamond, say goodbye to the people.
I want to thank everybody out there. If you can hear me, if I could inspire you in any way, I did my job. I say salute, peace, T&E Magazine. Thank you for having me. Joel, thank you for our talks. That's it. I'm out of here. Peace.
Peace, people.
Hey T&E fans, we hope you enjoyed this video today. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss any of our amazing interviews, how-to videos, or knowing what's going on in the T&E community. So subscribe now. We look forward to getting your input on this video and the many videos to come.